Before we start with the contents of this video, I would like to do an acknowledgement of country. If you don't know, Australia was colonised by the British, and there never was any formal recognition by the traditional owners of the land, that is the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, of ceding that land to the British. So, in the spirit of reconciliation, people who are not Indigenous are generally encouraged to do an acknowledgement of country. So, in the spirit of reconciliation, I, AuthAudio, would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and future, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who may be here today. Thank you. Hello there, and thank you so much for joining in and listening to this 25k QnA. I do currently have an audience. A couple of members on my Discord server are listening in while I record, so there might be a bit of me reading the comments, but yeah. Thank you everyone who submitted questions for this question and answer session. There were a lot of good questions from what I've seen, so looking forward to answering them. I hope I do a decent job of answering them. I will do my best to answer them to the best of my abilities. So I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm just going to read them off from the comments. So there's a couple of meme ones and there's a couple of serious ones. So there'll be a good mix. So first one is from Fading, who says, "Are you about to get down? 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town." I haven't played Fortnite in more than 4 months. The last time I played Fortnite was the first and only time I played Fortnite was with Fading, and we played Fortnite. The best moment was definitely when there was I think it was a firefly bomb, and Fading said, "Don't throw it." So of course I threw it. I threw it right in her face, and I died. This is already not questions. I threw it right in her face and I died. And she had to revive me. So 10 out of 10. Absolutely would do that again. Fading, if you're listening, I'm waiting for us to play again at some point. Because it was good. It was very good fun. Yeah. I'm not much of an FPS person though, so Fortnite is I think I played CSGO once or twice when I was 15. So yeah, Fortnite's the only FPS game I've played in recent memory. The next question is from Cake at Steak, who says, "If I had to kill either my best friend or significant other, who would I kill?" Well, I don't have a significant other, so I guess they gotta die, because, yeah, not happening to my best friend. Sorry about that. Then there's also the argument, well, if I did have a significant other, they'd probably be my best friend. So, yeah, yikes. So then, next, I just banged my ring against my mouse, don't mind that. Next couple questions are from Tanner Needs Cuddles. They say, "Woo, congrats, thank you very much. So, what's that cat cafe based on? Because I really want to go visit, to be honest." I'm very sorry, but really the cat cafe that features in Noah's audios, and technically Preston's as well, and the one that Redacted ASMR also featured in one of Noah's audios. It's not really based on anything. See, I'm actually horribly allergic to cats. So, so really, the last place that I can visit is a cat cafe. I'm so allergic to cats that, so once, I was invited to a friend's house for a barbecue, and what they had done was they cleaned up the whole house and then left the cats in like their parents' bedroom. But I think cats are still cute, so I was like, I want to go say hi to the cats. And so I went to the parents' room, and the cats are very cute. So I approached them and I start petting them with one finger. And I hadn't brought my hands back to my face or anything. And I started sneezing. My eyes went red. I was getting like snot up my nose. I could feel my throat starting to itch. It hadn't even been like 30 seconds that I'd been in that room. Excuse me. Hold on. I need to... Oh god, that might have come up for the people on Discord. I stopped the recording on Audacity, but that might have come up on Discord. Sorry. So, yeah, it had only been like 30 seconds, and... Oh god, it did come up on Discord. Whoopsies. Yeah, so I'd only been there for a couple of seconds, and yeah, eyes itching. So, I could not survive at a cat cafe. I haven't tried taking antihistamines, then petting a cat. I could probably try that. But at the same time, I really don't like my chances. I'm allergic to most dogs. I'm allergic to my rabbit. I used to be allergic to my guinea pig. My guinea pig passed away. And my dog, she doesn't shed, so I'm usually fine with her. But there are days where like I will put I'll put my face, on her, like on her face or whatever. And I will start sneezing and stuff. So yeah, I'm very allergic. And because I was so allergic to animals, because I am so allergic to animals, I actually never considered studying vet. Even though it was something I considered. I'm in med now, obviously, so like it transfers. But the only reason I'd never considered it was because I'm horribly allergic to animals. So, yeah. Tana's next question is, what's it been like doing audios while staying at your parents'? Especially the spicy ones. So, when I first started YouTube, I knew that my parents wouldn't be, like, supportive of, like, starting a YouTube channel, like, when I first started. I just knew that, like, they would have wanted me to concentrate on my studies and things like that, and to not focus on, things that quote unquote like distract me from my studies. So when I started my YouTube channel, Melbourne, the city I live in, was in lockdown. So because we were in lockdown, my parents were home all day, but during lockdown we were allowed 1 hour of exercise every day. So my parents would always go out on a walk for like 45 minutes, 1 hour, most afternoons. So there's a lot of videos towards like the start of my channel where you can hear birds in the background, because I was recording in the afternoon when the birds are most active. So yeah, I was basically just recording like when my parents weren't at home. So it was very like clandestine. It was really it was kind of funny actually, like to think back on it. Like I would be waiting for my parents to finish their work for the day, and like the second they're out of the house, like I already had the mic like set up, so I would just like quickly like get everything open, quickly record, and then get that done. And then, by the time they were back, I would be like done recording. There were definitely times where it was like, I had like 15 minutes to get the recording done, because it was like, oh, we're not going on a walk. We just need to go to the local supermarket and grab some, whatever. So it was like, okay, crap, I've only got 15, 20 minutes to record. I gotta do this, get it done, no mistakes. And I've definitely, like, carried that, like, gotta get it, gotta go fast mentality through, because now when I record audios, especially because I type everything up myself, in terms of scripts, I very rarely make mistakes when I record, especially because I'm usually, like, speaking quite slowly compared to how I normally talk. So yeah, I've just gotten used to, like, recording everything in, like, one take. It's not necessarily a good thing, because I'm not really giving myself the time to, like, listen back and re-record bits that could sound better, or anything like that. I just get it out, get it over and done with, which isn't necessarily a good thing. But to properly answer your question, now my parents do know that I have a YouTube channel, not the specifics. So, I usually just say, hey, I need to record. And usually I record late at night now because of the birds. I record at night when they're obviously not around. There's also fewer cars going around my street, so recording at night's the best thing. And then that's when my parents go to bed, so it doesn't really bother them. Or if they go out on, like, the weekend or something, I might record then as well. So yeah, it's fine. Like, my parents know. And to circle back to the bit about them, like they would not have supported it. So the reason that, so what I did was, like, because I know how my parents, react to, like, I know how my parents react to stuff, obviously. So I knew that, like, they wouldn't be supportive if I didn't have anything to show for it. So I was like, I'm going to do this YouTube channel. I'm going to do this YouTube channel in secret, essentially. So I'm doing this YouTube channel in secret from like September until February, September 2020 to like February 2021. And I wouldn't have told them, like, I would have kept up the whole thing, except I got into med and I had to move interstate. So, at the time, my parents were really concerned, like, like the pocket money, like all the costs, because they could only support me just for rent, not much else, in terms of finances. So I had to be like, hey, I have this YouTube channel thing going on and I earn enough to, to cover my day-to-day expenses. So you don't have to, you don't have to worry about that. It was definitely a little bit of a process to explain it, but yeah. I think that answers your question. So, third question from Tanner. Did you sleep at all while studying at med school? Because frankly, even I haven't slept for the past few days, and it's not even my first year yet. I'm still in the uni link. I very much sleep a lot. I'm the type to prioritize my sleep, so I suppose the only exception, like, is YouTube, because I'm trying to get the video recorded, edited, and uploaded before I sleep, so it's ready to get uploaded at a certain time the following day. So aside from that, I will prioritize my sleep. So if it's getting to like 11:30 p.m., 12 a.m., and I'm not done with whatever I'm doing, I'll leave it for the next day and I'll go to bed. That works for some people. It doesn't work for others. I genuinely cannot, like, stay up doing, like, all-nighters and things like that. It just does not work for me. I don't think I've ever pulled an all-nighter. I've never intentionally pulled an all-nighter to get something done, and I intend on keeping it that way. I don't really like the idea of staying up to do something, because it's just not necessary. I prefer to be able to sleep, and I mean, yeah, just wake up the next day and be well rested. Fortunately, you know, I don't really have any issues with like insomnia or anything like that. So I know, like, for some people, for them it just works to stay up and complete their work late at night. So that's understandable. But me, personally, I haven't lost any sleep yet over med. I do say yet because I know very much in the future I will be needing to sacrifice some nights. Hopefully not too many, but sacrifice is going to be required at some point. Okay. Last question from Tanner is favorite color and hobbies. Boy, I wish I had some hobbies. My favorite color is red. I'd say probably like a pretty vibrant red. Maybe like a crimson or like a rose red. That tends to be my favorite shade of red. Second favorite color, I definitely like teal a lot. Teal's a great color. Teal and like an emerald sort of green. Yeah, those would be my favorite colors. In terms of hobbies, I did laugh and say, imagine having hobbies. Because it's true, I tend not to really engage with hobbies, which isn't a good thing. I really do wish that I'd spent more time engaging in just, you know, something for just leisure. Because there's YouTube. YouTube is fun, but I don't consider it a hobby because it is technically my job. And with it being my job and relying on the income I get to, you know, to save up throughout medical school and support my day-to-day expenses, there's always the pressure behind each audio, each script. And although, like I said, I sincerely enjoy YouTube and it just brings me so much joy to see other people appreciating and listening to my audios, there's always going to be that pressure there. So I don't really count it as a hobby, even though it is technically a hobby. It's work. Doesn't mean it's not fun though. So yeah, there are things that I like to do, but I just find myself not doing them really, which is, I don't have a great reason for that. You know, I enjoy going to the gym. I haven't been for the past several weeks and I really need to get going at some point. I enjoy learning Japanese, and I had studied it for a few consistent months. I spent some time in Japan at the beginning of 2020 before the pandemic, and I did study it for about 3 or so months during my university term as well. So I was semi-managing it, but I kind of got a little bit burnt out from studying it because I wasn't really progressing too much because I was only really showing up for some lessons, and I wasn't studying outside of that. I did promise myself that I would spend my summer learning Japanese. It's been 1 month out of the 3 months I've got off and I still haven't started, so yeah, I will hopefully get onto that. Oh, I got a text message. So yeah, there's other things I'd like to pick up. Like, I wish I was more interested in sports. I was never really into sports when I was a kid. I was looking at my university. They offer stuff like archery lessons through the archery club. So I don't know. I might pick up some stuff next year. Hopefully, I will be able to pick something up and stick to it because hobbies are important. Oh, that's a bit loud. Hobbies are important, and you know, just having something to do that's not work or school to keep yourself entertained. I do play games. I play Genshin Impact, but late game Genshin things, it's just so grindy that it's like, are you really enjoying yourself? I don't know. I enjoy Genshin, but I guess in my mind, I've got this idea that a hobby has to be productive. That's an awfully capitalist mindset, and it's not great to have, obviously. But ooh, there's an Eastern Rosella. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So an Eastern Rosella is a species of bird that you find in this part of Australia. I had to go shield away from our fruiting trees because it's summer right now, and that means the trees are bearing fruit and the birds come and take their fair share. Well, more than their fair share. So I just had to go tell it to move along. What was I talking about? I was talking about hobbies. Yes. Yeah, I just would like to pick something up and do it to enjoy. Not feel bad that I'm not good at it, not feel bad that it's not productive, to do something and enjoy myself. And I think that challenging the mindset that a hobby has to be productive, that it has to be a good use of time, is going to be a bit difficult. But I will do my best to overcome that mindset. Okay, those were Tanner's questions. Okay, next we have some from Scooter. How do I feel about Randy Feltface or Sammy Jr.? I don't know those comedians, and I don't listen to comedians either. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm trying to see. Oh, you didn't comment any more questions. Yeah, I'm not really into watching comedians. Oh, I do have a story about a comedian though. So there's this Australian YouTuber comedian by the name of Friendly Geordies. And I have my personal gripes against him because he's made comments about Australian Indigenous people that are not appropriate, and he really should be he really needs to educate himself more about Indigenous people, but not the point. He's an Australian comedian, and he made certain remarks against a certain politician, and that politician took him to court over defamatory remarks. And I assume that this, from what I understand, is that this politician kind of just assumed that they could bully Friendly Geordies into submission because, well, the politician is a multimillionaire. Friendly Geordies, he's got a good YouTube channel, but he's not a multimillionaire. But it was really funny because Friendly Geordies launched this like whole merch campaign to raise the funds for all the legal fees that he needed, which he successfully did. And the court, although the court agreed that Friendly Geordies did make defamatory, is that the right word? Inflammatory? Defamation type remarks against this politician, he just got a slap on the wrist. It was like, take down the videos about this politician and be careful in the future. That was the outcome of that of that whole legal process. So Friendly Geordies got all this like fantastic PR because no one thought that the politician was doing the right thing. Friendly Geordies has also he's on the good side of a lot of politicians as well. And yeah, it just worked out for him. But again, Friendly Geordie is slightly problematic. Personally, I wouldn't actually support him, but I do think it's very good in terms of the Australian YouTuber community. And good to show politicians that they can't be bullied. So next question was, do you remember the video you sent of that stray cat that was super fond of you? Do you know what happened to the little guy after that? Yeah, so on Twitter, in about April, I want to say April, I posted a couple videos of this super adorable cat, that was at my university campus, in the res area, and, yeah, this cat was so cute, and it was basically just, like, rubbing itself up against, like, any stranger that was there. One of the RAs was just sat there for, like, 30 minutes, and the cat, like, didn't get up from her lap. Super adorable. Turns out the cat was not a stray, and in fact belonged to, a couple who lived about 10 minutes walk away from university. A decent, like, for a cat, it's like a decent distance from their house to the university, but like, yeah, like, the cat was pretty far away. And the res just called them up and asked them to take the cat back home, which they did. But I still saw the cat once or twice after that on the university campus. So, yeah, I guess the cat just likes to hang out in that area. Okay. Next question is from Echidna Pink, whom I know is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name on YouTube, but I know who they are. So, I don't have a question. This person does not have a question because it's late and their brain isn't working, but congratulations on one here. Wish I was there for all of it. Wait, edit. Is Australia real? Yes, Australia is real, but Tasmania is not. Everyone knows that Tasmania is a figment of our imagination, and anyone who says Tasmania is real is wrong. So, yeah, that's their question. Wolf Hunter has a joke question that I'm not going to read out, but their real question is, will I make more audios like the Tsundere Made Cafe one? That is a good question. I believe their name was Arlo, and I hadn't thought about it, but that would be a good idea. I think my issue with the way I've sort of gone about making these audios is that I've come up with a good idea, and I give the character a name, and in my head I will say that, they'll get a part 2 or a part 3. But then it comes to actually doing the part 2 or the part 3, and I don't actually have that good of a concept for the part 2 or the part 3. So without there being much substance to the character, it's a little bit difficult to go and write a sequel to that character. So I would, as I'm recording this, I'm already thinking about starting over on a second channel, because I haven't been super happy with the way things have been going on my current channel. So if I do start a second channel, I think I'll give it another think if I do want to make a part 2 to that Tsundere Made Cafe audio. Yeah, I still need to give it a bit of a think of when I start uploading on the second channel, how I want audios to look like, and basically how I would want to plan out the way that these audios would pan out. So yeah, thanks for the question. Next, we have a couple of audios from Redacted ASMR himself, from Eric. Now, he posted this audio. He posted these questions a month ago, and it was only in the last week that the contents of his sixth question arrived. So I will come back to that sixth question. First question, or as he says, Gentian. Question time. Number 1. Which of the 4 traditional elements, fire, water, air, and earth, would you most associate yourself with? Oh, that is such a good question. There's the element that I personally would want, because I think it's the most practical, and that is water. I think it was pretty in the... So obviously I'm thinking of this through Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. In those series, I think it was pretty underappreciated how you could draw water from your environment to use in battle. So obviously there was the episode with Hama, where during the full moon you could draw water out from the plants and the trees around you. But there's moisture in the air. So in a humid environment, can you not just, wave your hands around and draw water from the air? I personally think that that's a fairly reasonable assumption to make. So, yeah, I think I would definitely want water the most. But I do really see myself, personality-wise, with a lot of the tropes that you see in the other elements. Personally, I am a bit of a hard-headed and adamant person sometimes. Generally, I'm pretty open-minded, but I would be lying if I said I was never adamant or I was never hard-headed, or a bit steadfast in the way that I think. So that, would put me with Earth. But at the same time, I'm also a pretty chill and relaxed person. I'm not particularly spiritual at the moment, but I was at one point in time. And if I really wanted myself to be, I could, I think I wouldn't put it past myself to be spiritual, to, as they say, do away with the earthly possessions. I wouldn't put it past myself to get into that someday. So that puts air on the table as well. Water, again, people who can, go with the flow, be shaped by their surroundings. It's not uncharacteristic of me. And then there's fire, people who are passionate, people who can draw power from their emotions or their beliefs, which, I could definitely see myself doing. To answer your question, I think the one that represents me the best is fire, in terms of, being passionate and things like that. But I want water, personally. What's the longest I've ever gone without sleep? That's the second question. That is a good question. As I kind of mentioned before, I'm very much I love my sleep. I think, and this is not a very interesting answer, it's just, I think the longest I've gone without sleep is between traveling. In 2019, I went to India via Thailand, and there were a couple of overnight flights happening there. I generally can sleep on planes, but I think the way that everything was set up, in terms of the flights, I think I was only on about 2 hours of sleep over 36 hours of traveling. So, I can't, I really don't have a great answer for that because I just sleep too much. I think, yeah, I'm gonna say like just only like 24, 25 hours. Like, it's not a very interesting answer. What is my least favorite Pokemon is the third question from Eric. And that's a fantastic question because I can't really think of much off the top of my head. There isn't really a Pokemon that I'd look at and be like, ugh, like, oh, what I have to get, why am I encountering this Pokemon? Yeah, there isn't really a Pokemon like that. There's definitely shiny Pokemon that I don't like, so specific forms of shinies that I just cannot stand. Shiny Garchomp, shiny Gengar, look exactly the same as their originals. Shiny Groudon is the color of vomit. There's definitely those shinies that I just don't like. But in terms of a least favorite Pokemon, I suppose I can give an interesting answer to this. A Pokemon that I don't like because I wish it was better is Frostmoth. So it's a new Pokemon from Generation 8 Sword and Shield. There's its pre-evolution, Snom, whose baby, who is absolutely perfect in every single imaginable way possible. Snom is baby. But its evolution, Frostmoth, also really cute looking, and a really cool design, pun not intended, is riddled with really horrible stats. And like, its base speed is 60 base speed, and this thing is 4 times weak to fire and rock, 2 very common offensive types. And it only has a base 60 defense. Oh, sorry, it's got 65 speed and 60 defense. So it's weak as crap and it's slow. So how is it meant to survive any hits? It really can't unless you've got that much investment into it. And at that point, it's not worth having that investment because there's other Pokemon that can do better with less investment, or less support. So, yeah, it would be better if it was faster. It would be better if it had better defenses. Because as a bug ice type, it doesn't really have any need to be weak. It doesn't have any need to be frail from a competitive standpoint. In game, it's fine as it is, but yeah. So I don't really have a least favorite Pokemon, but there's definitely a Pokemon that I wish that had more potential. What is a word that I hate? The word, this is such a basic answer, but sometimes I really don't like the word moist. Sometimes I just can't handle the word moist. Like, it's not even that it sounds that bad, but it's just the way that, it's just the context you normally hear moist in. It's just not it. And the thing is I have this very distinct memory of when I was in year 7, there was a cake decorating competition at my school. Year 7 or year 9, I don't remember. And basically it was part of a fundraiser. So in all Australian schools there are houses, 4 houses typically, depending on the size of the school. So this was a different houses fundraising thing, and they had a cake decorating competition. Give a small amount of money to charity, and you can participate in this cake decorating competition. And the teacher, what the fundraising students had done was they got the teachers up at assembly to announce themselves as the judges. So Mrs. B gets up on stage, and the students are like, "Mrs. B, congratulations! You're a judge. Can you tell the students, the eager students who want to get involved in this fantastic cake decorating competition, what you are looking for as a judge?" And I just so distinctly remember Mrs. B going, and because she's American, "Yeah, we're looking for a cake that's moist," and everyone in the audience, in the auditorium audience, just started like snickering to themselves the way she just emphasized a moist cake. I just remember the face she made as well. I don't remember anything else from that assembly. I don't remember a single thing that happened that day. Just Mrs. B going, "We're looking for a moist cake." I'm like, please don't. Why? So, even though it's a very basic answer, moist is not a particularly favorite word of mine. Yeah. And that's it. Fifth question is, what is my favorite number? I can't say that I have a reason for liking the number 7 and 9. I think they're lucky in my culture, but I wouldn't really go out of my way to get like 7 or 9 of a particular item. So yeah, but that's my answer, 7 or 9. Okay. And then the sixth question, the much anticipated. Why are the American and Australian postal services conspiring against us to prevent the delivery of the wig? So, for context, on a stream on one of Eric's stream, talking about dyeing my hair, Eric's like, "You should get a wig." And ever since then, he's been working very hard to get me a wig. And the wig is... okay, it's not right next to me. The wig is in my possession now after like 2 months, 3 months. Eric like literally bought the wig and had it shipped to me. And I think it got lost at some point. Anyway, personally, I blame the American Postal Service because when it landed in Australia, it was on my doorstep within 2 days. But it took 2 to 3 months for it to get from the US to Australia. So I don't know who's at fault, but they definitely tried to do us a dirty one by not getting the wig to me. And a confession, I've had it for a week now and I still haven't put it on. I'm just waiting for the right moment to, it's a special moment, so it's got to be a good one. Yeah, it's that we'll go with that. It's got to be a special moment when I put on the wig. First and last wig in my possession. Okay. We've got a few more questions, so let's keep going. The next set of questions are from Blue. Number 1. Okay, so I know you're into Pokemon, so who's your favorite Pokemon? If you can't pick one of you, is fine. Yes, I do have a lot of Pokemon that I like. So there's a lot of Pokemon that there's Pokemon that I really like, and there's Pokemon that I love. I love Rowlet, my little baby, Owl. Especially Ash's Rowlet in the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime, is great. Ash's Rowlet is just so baby. I love them so much. I also really like Sylveon and Espeon. Sorry, I just had to yawn. Sylveon and Espeon, really cool Pokemon. Part of the reason I like Sylveon a lot is because of how strong it is. When I used to play Pokemon competitively, I came like second or third in a regional using Hyper Beam Sylveon. Because basically, Pixelate, which is its hidden ability, would turn normal moves into Fairy type, give it a bonus, and then on top of that, you would get the same type attack bonus from Fairy type moves. And I think I ran it with Life Orb, so it's an extra 1.3 damage, 1.3 times damage. So it was a super, super strong move. It was really fun to like nuke people with more than 200 base power Hyper Beam. It was really fun. Other Pokemon that I really, really like, Snom. I was just went on a rant about it before. So adorable. Just so cute. I could cry thinking about them. And then there's other Pokemon that I like as well because, I've used them in game or I've used them in tournaments. Garchomp, Togekiss, Rotom Wash, Decidueye, Hydreigon. Hydreigon's a good one. Yeah, all really fun Pokemon that I like. Yeah, there's that's basically it. There's a lot of Pokemon that I like because these Pokemon, what's not to like? Next question from Blue. What kind of recording equipment do you use? Ooh, good question. So I did recently switch to an XLR mic setup. So the microphone itself is a Shure SM7B. Very, very classic microphone of choice for a lot of people, whether or not they're ASMR artists or not. It's a very good mic to have if you're a streamer. I was told that there were options outside of the Shure SM7B, and I did look into them, but I think when I buy electronics I'm not particularly familiar with, I'm always a bit afraid of I suppose you could call it the guarantee that's there. Like, I use iPhone, iPad. I know that they're going to be good because I've got a lot of experience with those products, and I know that I can invest how many dollars into an iPad Pro because I know it's going to be able to do what I need it to do. But with things like microphones and all these setup kind of things, I'm not an audio engineer. I didn't study anything related to that. Nor am I a singer or an actual VA. So a lot of this stuff is really new to me, and I'm still learning every day. So I stuck to the Shure SM7B because it's a tried and true microphone. I really didn't want to take any risks. In terms of the rest of the physical setup, the Shure SM7B plugs into a cloud lifter. That essentially just makes it louder because this microphone is very, very quiet. And then the cloud lifter is then plugged into the interface, which is a Focusrite Scarlett 2, specifically the Solo 3rd generation. That just means it only has one XLR port. And then that is plugged into my PC. If you ever get a Focusrite Scarlett, plug it into USB 2.0. It does not work with the USB 3.0. I learned that the hard way. And then in terms of the boom arm, so I do have it on a boom arm. It is a... it is a Gator Frameworks. I don't remember which one specifically, but I liked this one because it's very solid. It's two like metal poles. Metal maybe? Or maybe it's like, I think it's metal. Two metal poles with 1, 2, 3 hinges that you can loosen and tighten. So I have them loose enough that I can still move it around without a problem, and it won't change position. But I like this one because it's super solid. And I have it just on a standard desk mount. This one is also nice because it comes with an XLR cable. So the XLR cable that it comes with is slotted inside of the boom arm. So in terms of cable management, there's no wires that I have to like tie onto the boom arm itself. If I remember, I can post a photo on like Twitter or my Discord. But yeah, that is the recording. That's a recording setup. What's your favorite piece of video game music? Oh, there's too many. I whenever I'm at my desk, 9 times out of 10, I will be listening to video game music. 9 times out of 10, it will be Pokemon. But sometimes I listen to not Pokemon. Attack of the Killer Queen and Pandora Palace from Deltarune Chapter 2. I love them. They're great. Very good songs. I'm the sort of person that needs to listen to like really hyper, really like like it's kind of yeah, like brain itchy music. I need to listen to the stuff that will get the juices flowing, really. But yeah, so whatever's like active and like hyper is what I listen to. So Pandora Palace, Attack of the Killer Queen, the mixtape as well. I've listened to like the 5-minute version of that, and it's good. It's really good. In terms of Pokemon, again, anything that will like get me thinking, like moving. So obviously I've been listening to more of the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl bits and pieces. So like your Cynthia theme, Gym Leader theme, Cyrus theme, those are all good. Generally any champion music, any gym leader music, any evil team, those will do you good. They'll do me good. In terms of getting my brain moving. So yeah, I'm very bad at answering these. What's your favorite type of X? Because I'm an indecisive little person. So I cannot make a choice. Question number 4 from Blue. Do you know how happy you and your characters and your stories make me? Because, like, so many of these characters, special mentions to Atlas, Sebs, and Noah, have captured my gay little heart, and just genuinely seeing them and the stories you create around them make me so happy and just make my day better whenever I listen to them, you know. It inspires me a lot, and it makes me maybe want to try my hand at writing and recording ASMR myself. You're just really cool, you know that. I teared up reading that. Thank you, Blue. I try my best. I try to make audios. I try to make situations that, you know, might not be real. So they might not be plausible per se. Because unfortunately, vampires and werewolves aren't real, but the sorts of moments that, you know, you might want to appreciate, that maybe you don't have the opportunity to be able to appreciate them, because that's definitely how it is for me. I'm very single. Ladies, hit me up. That's a joke. Don't do that. Um, so I'm really glad that my audios can reach people, and it can reach them in meaningful ways, because yeah, that is why I started this YouTube channel. That's why I do my best to just keep working hard and making things that people can enjoy. And I hope they do enjoy them. And it seems that people really do like them. So yeah, I'm really glad that it affects you in a positive way, Blue. But yeah, if you want to give writing and recording ASMR yourself a go, I'd very highly recommend it, because it's fun. It just takes a little bit of practice. There's a bit of a learning curve to getting started, but it's nothing impossible. There's definitely enough information out there that you could get started with. So, yeah. I hope that answers your question. I don't really consider myself as a cool person. Like, I very much was like the part of like the nerd group in secondary school, and definitely not part of the popular group when I was studying physiotherapy or in medicine. It's a bit easy to present yourself in a certain way online. Yeah, yeah. But I hope that I can continue to make audios that everyone enjoys. Yeah, that's it really. Keep making, I suppose they're mostly boyfriend experience audios. The sorts of things that make people feel good. So yeah, thank you very much for your questions, Blue. Okay, it is a new day now. I didn't realize an hour passed, and yeah, but it passed by very quickly. I had my booster shot today. Now it's like the 15th of December. I had my booster shot today, and I didn't have a fever, but it made me like extremely tired and fatigued. So I'm just chilling and talking into my mic now. All right, the next couple of questions are from Maddie. So firstly, they say, congrats on winning your broski. Big congrats on 25k. Here are some questions that I hope are not lame. Don't worry. I'm sure they're not lame. And they're mostly Genshin Impact related. If you could voice any Genshin character, who would it be and why? That's a good question. I always thought like my voice wasn't particularly well suited for voice acting, because I don't have like a particularly deep voice, and I was always under the impression that, the video game characters, unless it's like a child, like a boy, people, people wouldn't really like be interested in my kind of voice. But I don't know. There's a fair number of characters in Genshin who have relatively high voices. But anyway, that's not real. That doesn't answer your question. I reckon it would be pretty fun to voice, and this is a pretty obvious answer. Either Albedo or Goro. Obviously Albedo, he's super calm and collected. And I mean, Koi Dao, his English VA, he obviously does like a fantastic job, and I could never like really copy it, but I guess I could do my best to like, I don't know, get those elements of like that kind of like it's not really breathy, but it's I don't know how to describe his voice. I think I could do a decent job of it. And then the other character is Goro, because Goro's a good boy. If you could have any vision, what would it be? I reckon, so it's hinted at in like the lore and like in manga that when you have a vision, you can actually manipulate like that element. It's not just whatever like skill and elemental burst you're given. So in that regard, like pyro, hydro, cryo all seem like extremely useful elements, just because of like, pyro you can light a flame, hydro you can summon water, that kind of thing. So I do like the idea of having a cryovision, but at the same time, my favorite element is definitely Geo. So Geo is very tempting. What update was up when you started playing Genshin? I've been playing since 1.0. Now, I wasn't playing particularly seriously for the first several months. I really only started playing Genshin seriously from like March this year, I think. Yeah, so I missed out on a couple of things from the first couple of updates, but yeah, I don't have like a lot of the early weapons. Like I didn't finish the event, Albedo's first event, which really sucks because I still liked it then. I just didn't get around to finishing the event. But yeah, 1.0. The next question is, do I prefer playing Genshin in co-op or by myself? Domains exploring, etc. Exploration, I tend to prefer on my own. Just because there's cutscenes, there's quests, things like that. It gets annoying a little bit, but I have enjoyed playing domains and stuff co-op. I just don't do it often because most of the people that I know who play Genshin are people through my Discord, and those people are mostly on NA. And I do have an American Genshin account, but I'm not particularly active on it. I just log in to collect primos, and then that's about it. So I do enjoy doing domains in co-op, but 99% of the time I'm playing solo. What would be your dream vacation? Oh, that's a hard question because I love traveling. I really want to go around like Europe. I want to go everywhere. I want to go around Europe. I want to go around North America. Visiting South America would also be pretty cool. I've been to Japan twice already, but I absolutely would not say no to another visit. Visiting. Oh, I wouldn't mind going to Okinawa. That'd be pretty cool. Going to Okinawa, the Tohoku region, as well. Yeah, Okinawa, South Japan, Tohoku region. Those all seem like pretty cool places. And I really want to visit. So yeah, yeah. Pick a dream vacation. I will say that probably going on like a trip around like France or something would be pretty cool, but yeah, it's hard to say. So the next question is, what is your favorite word and why? I did have to pause the recording and like look something up because I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. I had to come up with like a medical one because like I just couldn't think of something like normal. So the favorite word I think at the moment is spondylolisthesis. It is just essentially when one of your lower vertebrae, which is your like, so in your spine you've got individual individual bones in your spine. It's when one of the lower ones above like your tailbone slips forward. So yeah, there's no special meaning behind why I like the word. It just sounds cool. Spondylolisthesis. Um, if you want to look it up, SPONDYLO, LISTHESIS. Um, so yeah, it's just a cool sounding word. Another cool word is also lithiasis. There's a bit of a theme here with the S's. That's just a stone from your urinary tract. So like renal stones would be like lithiases. Yeah. So wait. Oh no, sorry. Nephrolithiases. Not renal or urolithiases. So yeah. Do I believe in astrological signs? Not particularly. I think I mean the astrological stuff you find online, like your prediction for Tauruses in December 2021. The reason that those are often applicable to people is because they're written in very general terms. So that's why people get drawn to them because, wow, this applies to me. Well, it applies because it's written in very general terms and you can extrapolate it however you like. Sorry if my dog whines in the background. She's been fed, she's been watered, she's been let out to do her business. She's just begging for treats because my parents have spoiled her. Anyway, so yeah, but at the same time, it's always tempting to think, Tara. I'm not editing that out. It's always tempting to believe or to think that there is some sort of higher power, that everything happens, that that there's a reason for it happening, which I don't know. That's rarely the case, in my opinion. But yeah. Oh my god. You could definitely hear my dog in the background. Anyway. Oh. And the last question from Maddie. How often do I have to re-record audios? Not often. I have developed quite the habit of recording all my audios in one take. Because with time pressure around uni, I just I just write an audio and I record it in one take so that the editing required is fairly minimal. It's not the best habit to have, but it is what helps me get audios out with a relatively short turnover period. So I'll generally write an audio over a couple of days, write the script for an audio over a couple of days, and then I'll sit down at 9-10 p.m. to record it within, if it's a 25-minute, if it's a 15-minute audio, I'll generally get it recorded in 25 minutes, give it another 10 to 15 minutes to edit, and then only 5 minutes to edit, because again, edit the video, because again, I don't do any special effects or anything like that in the video itself, so it just takes a couple minutes to get that edited, exported, and then 30 to 45 minutes to upload to YouTube. So yeah, really quick turnover period, so that's why I tend not to re-record audios much. Having said that, given that I'm making a new channel and I left my hard drive with my audios at my dorm, and I'm not going back to my dorm for another 2 months. because I don't have access to my old audios, I will be re-recording them. And anyway, it wouldn't be nice to just re-upload a bunch of the same stuff. So yeah, I will be re-recording a couple of my old audios with updated quality and probably changes to script, so it's not the exact same thing people are listening to. So yeah, I will be recording. I will be re-recording some audios in the future. Okay. Once again, once again, big congrats, man. Thanks for the super cash money content. And thank you for the questions, Maddie. So next couple questions are from Kronos. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary to your channel. You are doing amazing and will continue to do amazing things. Thank you, Kronos. Question to the Q&A. Whom amongst the characters is your favorite? That's a good question. Writing Liefeld and Ross are really fun. They're just great to do. In terms of voicing, those ones are also good as well in terms of the accent. But I guess personality wise, so far I'm liking Ross the best. I feel like he so far has the most amount of depth to him. That's just how I feel anyway. There are definitely some honorable mentions like Seb's the vampire. He's pretty cool as well. But yeah. What are some artists that I listen to? So I'm assuming you mean music artists. The main music I listen to is Love Live. So that's a Japanese girl group kind of thing. Like an anime girl group. I also listen to a lot of Twice. They're a K-pop group. Also a bit of Mamamoo, Dreamcatcher, a little bit of One Us, and a little bit of Stray Kids. I also have a couple of BTS songs in my playlist. What is your favorite color of the alphabet, bestie? Weary face, weary face, weary face. My favorite color is red, a nice crimson red, as I think I said previously. And my favorite letter of the alphabet is Z. Next question is from Quack. Congratulations. Question: how did you feel when your channel suddenly blew up? Bruh. Firstly, I felt, incredibly... it was, incredibly surprising. It wasn't the sort of thing I was expecting. I remember, because I made it, I was starting to make a couple friends in med, and, as we're sort of getting to know each other, I was like, oh, I have a YouTube channel. I told them, it was ASMR, and so I was like, they're not allowed to have the, they're not allowed to have the name of the channel. But one of my friends did find it. He found it. It was 11K, and the second time he looked at it a week later, it was at 15K. So that was a moment of yeah, wow, I really am kind of blowing up. I suppose in retrospect, I do kind of regret that I didn't take advantage of my successes at the time, because it was a period, so it was around the time that I uploaded a Patreon a age restricted audio that went viral, and I guess I just regret not taking advantage of that success at the time, because now I understand better that when YouTube is promoting your content, it's not always going to do that. Excuse my dog. I promise my dog is fine. She's just being dramatic. I've checked in on her several times. She just wants food, even though I've fed her enough. So, I just regret not capitalizing off of the fact that I did blow up. And, the consequence of that is my videos haven't been doing very well. And, I keep talking about a second channel, but, I really hope that, second channel will give me a second chance. Next question is from the By Brit. Congratulations, Auth. Thank you, BB. It's been a pleasure to see your channel grow and see your confidence grow with it. The question B, why are you so fantastic? The actual question, what is your favourite thing to come from this year? That's a good question. It really feels like I haven't done much, because the first thing that comes to mind is getting into med school, which that was all the way back in February, and it feels like it was a lifetime ago at this point. Yeah, I think I just have to say that I'm getting into med school because it was something that I've wanted since for at that point 5 years, and to see it finally happen was a dream come true. Next question is from Ame Senpai. Congrats on the 1 year. You've done such a great job with all your videos, and I can't believe how talented you are with writing and voice acting too. The fact you can also balance this at the uni for this long. You're amazing. Thank you for making videos that helped me sleep when I couldn't. Questions. Do you take care of your voice somehow? No, I do not. In the past couple months, I've been very guilty of streaming for several hours and my voice is aching afterwards, or going to loud parties, the voice is aching afterwards. I do need to be very careful because my voice is my only asset. So yes, I will be more careful in the future. Top 3 boba drinks you can't live without. Plain milk tea with rainbow jelly, no ice. Okinawa milk tea, and green tea with passion fruit. So passion fruit green tea with rainbow jelly and quarter ice. Those are definitely my top 3 bubble tea orders. Ideal Gentian party, which is literally on my hotbar because I have Gentian open in the background. Of course I do. It's Ito, Goro, Albedo, and Zhongli. They really are my favorites. And last question from Ame is, why am I so cool? I'm not cool. I'm lame. I was definitely not part of the popular group, nor was I anywhere near it. Both in high school, when I was studying physiotherapy, and now in medicine, I am far from being cool. Next questions are from Chloe. Oh, that's a lot of questions. Okay. Let us speed through these. Where in Australia would I like to visit? I want to go to Rottnest Island, probably. That is where the famous quokkas are from. Those little, I think they are... Oh god, what is it? You know, like kangaroos, possums, marsupial. They're the world's happiest marsupials. So yeah, probably there. But I do acknowledge that Rottnest Island was once used as a prison, and countless Indigenous, Aboriginal / Indigenous people, I believe mostly men, were killed on that island. And it is what was once a sacred site to the local Indigenous population, is now a stark reminder of the effects of colonialism on not just that part of Australia, but the country as a whole. So yeah. The next question from Chloe. You were given unlimited plans to plan a dream vacation for my parents. What does it look like? Ooh. I think I would send my parents to Europe, probably. my mum, I believe the only place in Europe she's gone to is Greece. She went when she was, I want to say when she was like 15 or 16 years old. And she was only there for a day or 2 days. She went there on like it was technically a stopover. She was living in North Africa at the time, and they were going to India. Don't ask me the logistics of that. So I know that she'd probably appreciate going back to that place, because even though it was just 1 or 2 days, I think she really liked it there, and she'd appreciate going back. So, and then my dad, he went to France in 2015, 2014, France and Italy, just on his own though, because it was for work, so I think they both would appreciate going to Europe. So yeah, I'd send them to the UK. We've got some family there, and yeah, I think they'd appreciate just seeing, bits and pieces of Europe, Porto in Portugal, Barcelona in Spain. They probably wouldn't like Paris, I'm not gonna lie. They're not very like big city people. I think they'd appreciate more like countryside vibes. So, maybe like Marseille in France, but yeah, Italy, Switzerland, mostly like West Europe, and Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Iceland. Yeah, just all over Europe, because we don't have any limits on our money. What has been the most interesting class I've taken? Definitely history. I love history so much. History is fun to learn. Like, as much as I loved history classes, writing history essays was still a little bit stressful. But yeah, I loved history. I did history for VCE, which is the Victorian Certificate of Education, which is just the state that I did secondary school in Australia, and we studied the French and Russian revolutions. It was particularly interesting because like just learning about communism in general, learning about the Bolsheviks, learning about what was happening in France at the time. Really cool and really important, because you never know when something like that might happen again. What did I want to be when I grew up? I wanted to be a doctor. So it's cool that that's coming true. Oh, to give a more interesting answer, when I was like 6, 7, I was super into Thomas the Tank Engine, and I really wanted to be a train driver. My mum thought it was cute, and then when I was like 8, 9, I found out what like a doctor was, and like my best friend's dad at the time, he was and still is a doctor, specifically a GP. So I was like, and at the time my friend was like, I want to be a doctor, so I was like, I want to be a doctor too. So growing up, yeah, I wanted to be a doctor. And then, when I was like 16 and like year 10, I became a little bit more better informed about what a doctor does. And I was like, yeah, this seems really cool. This is what I want to do. So yeah. What do I wish I was more skilled at? I wish I were more skilled at like speaking Japanese. Like, and it's really sucky because like if I put in the effort, I really could be good at speaking Japanese, but I just haven't. And whether it's laziness or just being busy, I haven't gotten around to it. So, yeah. Have I recently come into the possession of any wigs? Yes. A couple days ago, a wig arrived. I have not gotten around to wearing it yet. I'm waiting for the infamous Redacted ASMR to be less busy so that we can live stream together, and maybe I'll put on the wig then. Which Gentian Archon are you most excited to meet? Definitely the Tsaritsa. I am looking forward to meeting Lesser Lord Kusanali, but I heard that she's actually a chibi, like, child model, and suddenly I was like, I don't know. I hope they're just not, like, a child. Like an actual child. So, yeah. Which future region of Teyvat am I most excited for? I want to be excited for Sumeru, but I'm just not into it being a mishmash of North Indian, North Indian, Persian and Arabic culture. It just feels like generalized Arabian fantasy with some elements of Hinduism and Zoroastrianism. Because I've never seen, I've just never seen representation of South Asians in the media that I've consumed. Being mostly anime and stuff. So, to see elements of cultures I'm familiar with is exciting, but at the same time, seeing it mixed in with other cultures where, so far, Mondstadt Liua and Inazuma have been pretty consistent with the country that they're based off of, with Sumeru not being based off of one specific country, but instead several very, very different cultures. I'm not really looking forward to that. So, as much as I want to look forward to Sumeru, I think the most correct answer would be Fontaine. I'm just looking forward to a potentially steampunk kind of vibe. Tell us a bit more about my love of Jack Howell. Jack Howell is perfect. He's tall, he's muscular, he has a great voice, he growls, he's got little fangs, he's just perfect. He wears eyeshadow. He's just a perfect man. Tell us about a time you were proud of something I achieved. In 2020, I did a literature review. That's not the most impressive thing for academics, but I was happy because it was about a topic that I was passionate about. Specifically, it was about rates of alcoholism and drug abuse, and if it was linked to mental health outcomes in queer youth in Australia. And what I found was that there is, I don't remember all of my findings, but actually, do I have it up here? I do. Oh, goodness, I need to... Ooh, okay, never mind. Yeah, I don't remember what my exact findings were. I know some things were linked and some things... I found evidence to some things, but not for others. But yeah, it was just a topic that I was really excited for. And I got to present it at a online conference. So that was pretty cool. Who's your current Genshin A team? Probably Hu Tao, Xingqiu, Albedo, and Zhongli. But I have recently switched to Itogoro, Albedo, Zhongli. But I'll probably swap out Zhongli for Fischl at some point. Or maybe Diona. Do you think you'll stream Genshin on Twitch more in the future? I really would like to. I have had a little bit of difficulty in trying to make Genshin streams entertaining. It just feels like, I'm just getting on there and doing stuff, but I'm not really able to do anything that sets myself apart from other Genshin streamers. And yeah, just trying to find something that actually does set me apart from other Genshin streamers it's felt a little bit difficult so far. Tell us about a time you were proud of someone else's achievement. Ew. I mean, recently I found out one of my high school friends got into postgraduate medicine. If that counts. We haven't kept in good contact, but I'm really happy for them. What was your favourite field trip in school? In year 10, we went to Science Works, which is just your as the name implies, it's a big science type center. And the best thing is you can go at any age and you will enjoy it. There's stuff for kids, there's stuff for teenagers, adults. They've got a really beautiful planetarium. It's like a movie. It's like a movie cinema. But the chairs recline like all the way back, and you'll look up and it's like a big dome, and they'll project the stars and they'll talk about constellations to you. Oh my god, I need to go. I literally need to go. Science works. I'm just putting I'm literally just putting the link up in front of me so that I remember to look at it later. Where is it? Yes, it's not in the most convenient place to access for tourists, unfortunately. There is a train station. No, it's a tram stop. Yeah, there's like a train station. Is this a train or a tram stop? There is a train station. Okay, there is a train station, semi nearby, but I would just drive. So yeah, I will absolutely go back in the near future. How are your Japanese studies come along? Yeah, I have not been super diligent with studying Japanese. I keep telling myself that I'll start studying and I'll stream myself studying, but it just hasn't happened. Would you like to go back to Japan someday? Absolutely. Where would you like to visit the time you didn't last time, and where would you like to revisit? I alluded to this before. I really want to go to Tohoku. So I did spend one day in Sendai. I went to a really beautiful garden. It was a like walking museum kind of thing. It was a garden, like outside obviously, and there was I forgot the name. I'll have to look up the name later. And then I also went to a tea shop. I just searched up tea shop in Sendai, and it was the first one that came up. And it's called Basho En in Miyako? No, Basho En Tea Shop in Sendai. And my Japanese then was much better than it was now, and they were like, "Oh, so how'd you find our store?" And I was like, "Oh, well, actually, it was just the first one that came up when I googled tea shop Sendai," and they were very happy to hear that. Apparently, it was founded in 1668. Goodness me! I am on their Instagram. If you can find me, don't do that. So yeah, I would absolutely love to visit more of Tohoku, because the Tohoku region is all of the part of Japan that's north of I think probably the most major city that's parts of Japan that are north of Fukushima. I think it includes Niigata, maybe. But, major cities in the Tohoku region, like Fukushima, Sendai, Morioka, Hachinohe, Aomori, Akita. I really want to go visit them more, because it's sort of like off the beaten path kind of parts of Japan. Touristy enough that you can get by without Japanese, but definitely places that are not typically visited by foreigners. A good time to go would be winter, when it's snowing in the more northern parts, and there's lots of winter festivals. What's the word? Something Matsuri. Yuki Matsuri? Snow Festival, yeah, Yuki Matsuri. So that's definitely a good time to go. Otherwise, if you go in not snowing months, it's good to rent out a car and drive around. That's what I've been told anyway. The bullet train line does go all the way up to Aomori. Actually, it goes up to Hakodate, I think. I think the bullet train goes up to Hakodate. So, like, you can visit Hakodate, but from Hakodate, which is in Hokkaido, there are no bullet trains in Hokkaido. Hopefully there will be soon, but it's like a 4-hour train from Hakodate to Sapporo, which is not ideal. I probably would revisit Hokkaido, but instead in the summer, because I went in winter. Maybe not summer, it's very hot in the rest of Japan. Maybe like spring. Hokkaido's cherry blossom season is like April, May. So much later than the rest of Japan. In like Okinawa, it's like February, and then mainland Tokyo, it's like February, March, like late March, early April. So yeah, maybe soon. I don't know. It's expensive to travel, and I like YouTube is great for like my university related income, but it's really not a lot to save up to travel. I'll need to be saving up for a while to go back to Japan anytime soon. What song makes me feel energized? Oh, too many. I can never go wrong with Feel Special by Twice. That one always, like, just especially when I listen to it with my wireless headphones, because like when you turn on my headphones, they're like Sony MX4s, I think. They've got a long name. Sony's like flagship noise cancelling headphones are very good, and you can like do bass boost and stuff like that. So yeah, it sounds great, with like the bass boost and stuff and everything like that. More questions. Do I have any irrational fears like spiders or heights? I don't like spiders. I don't like spiders at all. But I don't know. I definitely have a fear of like being alone. In terms of like one day I'm gonna be all alone and no one to help me. And Tara. Oh my goodness. I need to keep stopping my recording because of her. Yeah, I was talking about something depressing, like being alone. So, yeah. What superpowers would I want to have? Ooh, teleportation seems really convenient. Like, I understand there's probably the limitation of you have to have visited that place first, but just, like, visit a bunch of different places and find, like, safe areas. So, for example, like, you know, like the middle of a field where no one's looking kind of thing. Toilets are a difficult one in like a shopping center because, you know, you might accidentally, you might teleport in and someone might see you, which is a bit awkward, but, teleportation would be fantastic. Saves so much money when you want to go back and visit another country. And yeah, it would be ideal to have teleportation with a little bit of convenience, like be able to carry stuff with me and not like have to go without like any possessions. And that would also be pretty awkward. What fashion style do I find the most appealing? I don't know the names for these. I just like fashionable people in general. There is I feel bad. I feel like every time someone asks a very innocent question, I have a way of making it really depressing. I'm overweight, and I in recent years have become more and more envious of the way skinny people are able to dress themselves in a way that, you know, for more masculine people to dress in a way that accentuates and broadens their shoulders, and they can tuck in their shirt or their jumper into their pants, and it makes their waist either look a little bit puffy, thinking about like Hal from Howl's Moving Castle style, or yeah, just tuck it in, get in a belt, and it makes their waist look a little bit smaller. I like those kinds of fashion styles a lot because it's not something I can do. And yeah, I've always wanted to be able to do something like that. Tuck in my jumper and not have like my stomach protrude outwards. Or, you know, protrude outwards even when I'm sucking it in, because that's something I didn't realize people didn't do. I thought everyone sucked in their stomach a little bit, but turns out that's not everybody. Yeah, sorry to make that question a little bit depressing, but I'm just trying to be as honest as I can. And then Chloe's last question: can Chrissy Wissy have a kissy wissy before we go home? Ooh. Chrissy only gives kisses to Asher. Sorry about that. Congratulations again on your 1 year anniversary, Auth, Chloe. And thank you very much for your questions, Chloe. Next questions are from Orange Park Jimin. Super late to the party, it's fine. But congratulations on the 1 year anniversary. You're so ridiculously talented and we're all so proud of you. Thank you. Questions. Have you ever had an experience that felt so real that you're convinced it was a dream / didn't happen? Yeah. Definitely the moment I heard when my grandfather passed away. That was wild. You know, there's all sorts of emotions that go through your mind. People say that when you first hear news, your first reaction is shock, and then you feel like sad and stuff. But really, for me, my first feeling was regret, because for me, it immediately hit me that I was never going to be able to speak to him again. I was only 18 at the time, and I felt like I'd only heard 5% of his life at that point. And to hear that he had passed so suddenly, it was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. And yeah, I really spent a long time wishing that it wasn't real, but yeah. If I could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would I ask? I'd probably want to know if I was about to say I would want to know if God is real, but I don't care personally if God is real or if gods are real, because they're clearly not all powerful and all knowing. So I don't care. I think I would prefer to know if there was an afterlife. I want to know if there's an afterlife so I can know how my grandparents are doing. Yeah. Sorry that the answers to those questions were a little bit depressing, Jimin. But thank you very much for your questions. Next questions are from the Agaric reader. I wonder who that could be. Congratulations. I can only imagine how earth-shattering it's been, and I feel lucky to have you in my life. Thank you, Kaz. I'll try to make this as coherent as I can. Do you have any plans for lore that you can share with us? I'm probably going to be transitioning to slightly less lore-focused content, so I think I can divulge a little bit about how I intended magic to work. So in the beginning, the idea with magic is that it's always dependent on the intention of the user. So that's why people can cast generic sounding spells like transform or disguise. And it would be the intention or what the user wanted to do as a result of that magic that determined the effect of the spell. And that was something that came out like at the very beginning of my channel, but not since then. I think the other thing as well that I could divulge is a lot of the roots for the words that I've used when I used to use them. I've sort of switched to just sticking to English because it can be confusing for people to listen to because they're probably not familiar with the spelling. Words I've come up with to represent like magic, like Tegnos for earth or Podaos for air, they all come from Proto-Indo-European, and that was the intention from the start. Was instead of doing Latin or Greek, which are very basic, sorry J.K. Rowling, I wanted to use Proto-Indo-European and Sanskrit as my bases. And yeah. The other thing, I have to tell one other thing. The story of Vikram comes from the way I intend Vikram's story to pan out will come in part from a story that was published in Sanskrit many, many centuries ago. If you look up Vikram's name and some other things that come up in his first video, I think it's pretty doable to find what text I'm talking about and what the potential direction his story is going would be. So yes. Kaz, the next question is drop the skincare routine ? So, skincare. I have 2 cleansers, both from Innisfree. One is just their standard green tea foaming one, and the other one is their cherry blossom jam cleanser. The jam cleanser I find is quite gentle and relatively moisturizing, as much as a cleanser can be. So I mostly use that at night, and then in the morning, and then the green tea cleanser I'll use at night after a long day. Give it a good scrub. Then in terms of a toner, I typically use their cherry blossom toner. Really because it just smells nice. I'm not looking for anything specific from my toners. The next thing I'll use is the 10% zinc, 1% niacinamide. I think that's what the percentages are by The Ordinary. That one has the intention of like reducing breakouts over time. So yeah, that one's good. And then I also recently started using hyaluronic acid. I like it. My skin feels nice after using it. Same with the niacinamide and zinc solution. And then in terms of moisturizers, I just have Innisfree's Bija Trouble lotion. That one is meant to have salicylic acid in it, although I don't think it's even 1% salicylic acid. So it's not doing much, but I just like the smell. I use Innisfree products because I like the smell of them. I wouldn't go to Innisfree if you're looking for a specific clinical effect from skincare. I would use Innisfree because you like the look, you like the smell, or you like the non-clinical effect. So, for example, like their face masks, their volcanic pore, whatever it's called, like the volcanic clay thing. I think that's pretty good. Because yeah, it was only in like the recent couple of months that they've started putting ingredients that are known to have clinical effects on skincare, such as niacinamide in some of their products, the niacinamide, salicylic acid in their products, and yeah, I'm honestly not convinced that they're that effective. I do have a salicylic acid mask that I use once a week. Well, meant to use once a week, but I end up using it like once a fortnight. After recording this, I should probably go use it. That salicylic mask is also from The Ordinary. But yeah, the other thing, I do want to start using, vitamin C and maybe retinol. I don't know. I'm just worried about purging. So yeah. When are you coming to visit me? Nevada? Hot pass. Sorry about that, Kaz. And certainly not least, did you know that you're really cool? To a minor extent. Next questions are from Jez. Hi, Jez. Thank you for leaving questions. And thank you to Kaz for your questions as well. Sorry. Congrats on an incredible achievement. Thank you. I'm so ridiculously proud of you and thankful to be a friend each and every single day. Thank you, Jess. What was your first or most embarrassing username or email address? I can't share the exact details because it has my name in it, but like my full name in it. My first email address was first name, last name, 789@gmail.com. And I made that when I was like 10. So, when I was like 9. So I've never been creative with names. Is there something you'd want to study at uni that isn't med? Yes, I really want to study linguistics. And the thing is I can add an arts degree onto my medicine degree. And I really want to, but that would make my already 6-year course into a 7-year course. And I've already been out of secondary school for 2 years now. So I really don't want to make my course. I really don't want to make my undergraduate education from 8 to 9 years. So, yeah. And plus the cost of an arts degree has recently increased. So it's not really worth it. But if it were logistical, I would really love to study linguistics. I've always just been a huge language nerd in general. I studied French, Indonesian, a little bit of Portuguese, Japanese. I love learning little factoids about other languages. And, as I sort of mentioned with my magic system and Proto-Indo-European, I just enjoy linguistics in general. So yeah, I'd love to study linguistics. Which character's development / arc on your channel are you most proud of? I don't feel like many of my characters have had much of a chance to develop because they've only had, part 1s and 2s. Probably the character arc I would have liked to explore the most would have been Sean. So Sean had 2 videos. 1, luring you in for a bite, and 2, flirting with you for a bite. The idea with Sean was that he was not meant to be... He was not a nice person. He knew that he was exploiting the listener, and he did it for his own gain. The idea around that was because his backstory was meant to be that he was turned unwillingly by someone whom he rejected. And the lore behind that I never got around to doing was both Sebs and Sean were turned by the same person. Sean had no one to help him, but Sebs had his listener. So that's why Sebs turned out alright and Sean didn't. And so his arc was meant to be about him about the way that he hurt the listener and how he realized that how his actions were impacting those around him. And he was meant to realize that he was hurting the listener and meant to take a turn for the better. But his second video didn't do that well, and I never got around to making another one for him. Which, not ideal, but yeah, maybe on the second channel I'll give his audios a second shot. Go-to bubble tea order. So for my favorite store, just plain milk tea, no ice and rainbow jelly. Generally, if I'm at another store, I'll get a passion fruit green tea with rainbow jelly and quarter ice. Quarter ice because it generally just needs just a little bit of diluting down, a little bit of ice. But otherwise, with the milk one, I don't like it getting diluted down at all. How much money would you need to be paid to watch the entirety of SAO Sword Art Online? I would genuinely watch SAO for $50 an hour. I think that's pretty reasonable. So Jess, hit me up. What's a hobby you haven't done in a while but you would like to pick back up? Learning Japanese. Yeah, I keep saying I want to do it, and I just never get around to doing it. Why do you like to cause me so much pain? I have no idea what you're talking about, Chloe. Absolutely none. What's a strange pet peeve of yours? I sincerely dislike people who walk slow as a group. So, if you walk slow, that's fine, but move the fuck out of the way. Like, I get it. Not everyone is queer and has places to be. So, fine. But if you and your friends, like, if people and their friends are walking, like, 3 or 4 of them are walking together and, like, taking up a bunch of space, you need to stop. Absolutely none of that. So, yeah, pet peeve. Oh, I also don't like people chewing their mouths open. Ugh. Like, yeah, no thanks. Do you know how loved and absolutely gosh darn wonderful, talented, and intelligent you are? Because we sure do. An exquisite human being. Yes, yes. Thank you, Jess. Thank you for your questions. The next questions are from Asian. Congratulations on the 1-year anniversary. It's been a journey of ups and downs, and you've gotten this far. It's quite the achievement. Thank you. Questions for you. Name 3 types of videos that show up on your TikTok For You page. The first one is political content, which... the second one is Genshin Impact, and the third one is cupcake remixes. Although that's definitely like a lot less frequent, but they still come from time to time. What other elements, themes, and genres would you like to explore in your content moving forward? That's a good question, because I really am torn between really wanting to do story-driven content and character-driven content, because there's things I want to talk about, like what I mentioned with Sean just previously on Kaz's question. On Jess's question. So to explore a character who made a bunch of mistakes, learned what they are, and is willing to work on themselves for the benefit of the people around them. Or, you know, it's just, I also want to do like kind of general like fantasy fluff kind of stuff, like you know, like going out on adventures and things like that, some stuff that you might see in an anime. That would be pretty fun. But yeah, trying to balance that and content that gets clicks on YouTube, I've definitely been struggling with. And from my understanding, YouTube actually hasn't been promoting my content that much. Looking at my analytics, almost 50% of people find my content through YouTube search. That means YouTube isn't actually showing my videos on their home pages. On the side, you know, when you click on a video on PC, on the right side, you'll see like a bunch of other content that's being recommended. YouTube isn't actually doing that for a lot of people. So I'm not sure what I have to change to make YouTube start showing my content to new people. But yeah. If you had to change your fate, would ye? I don't know. What is my fate? Is my fate to is my fate just to keep a pretty small YouTube channel going and hope that lasts me through med school. Yeah, I would like to change that fate because I want my YouTube channel to grow. I want new people to see my content, and I want both fans, old and new alike, to appreciate or to be able to listen to the content that's being shown and the content that I'm making and actually have it be shown to them. I'd love to change that fate. Is my fate being a Twitch streamer that streams really sporadically and doesn't really know what they're doing? Yeah, I want to change that fate. Or is my fate that I'm gonna pass med school and become a really great doctor? No, I don't want to change that fate. I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna do well in my professional life. It's just very far away. So the only thing I can think of is what's coming up in the next 1 or 2 years. And outside of university study, because that's just the same thing over and over again, it's Twitch and YouTube. And I don't know what's in store for me. So yes, thank you for your questions, Asian. Next questions are from Fused Cons. Congratulations on 1 year. I hope you never get tired of doing audios. I really love your roleplays and the stories you tell through them. Thank you. As for questions, how much has YouTube changed your life? I hate to talk about money because that's lame, but it's the thing that definitely helped a lot after I got into med school, because I had to move into state and I'm not eligible for government funding, and it just made things a lot easier moving away for medicine. But in more, in less money related things, I'm definitely a lot more confident in my voice. I used to be very, very insecure about my voice. There's definitely days where I still am, but I definitely don't feel as bad about hearing it, about people talking about it. Literally a month, no, not a month, 2 weeks before I uploaded my first video, I was on a call with some friends, and they were just having a lot of banter, and one of them randomly goes, "Oh, Auth has a really high bitchy voice." And I was like, that's not very nice of you. And it's also what I've always been very insecure about. So thank you for confirming my insecurities. And it was really... Sorry, it wasn't 2 weeks before. It was 2 weeks after I'd made my first video. And at that point, I was like, yeah, no, I'm going to fucking show these guys. I've just started an ASMR channel, and I will show them that people like my voice. I will show them that my voice is worth people's time. So, yeah. I would say that I am a little bit more confident in my voice these days. And, well, I don't call myself a writer, but it's definitely nice to have YouTube as a creative outlet. What do I usually do when I make a mistake during recording? Unfortunately, I am very boring. If I make a mistake, I just immediately stop speaking, pause the recording, cut it out, and then keep going. What Audacity does is between takes, it'll put a little bar every time you stop and start a recording. And so what that means for me is if I make a mistake, I know where the mistake is because I can see the little bars on the recording in Audacity, and I can just go through, edit out the clicks, and it makes the editing process a lot faster. How do you YouTube and med school at the same time? I'm also doing further studies at the moment, so I know how busy and stressed we can get. It's definitely good time management. I will say that I didn't study as much as I should have this year, and that definitely impacted my grades. Not to the point where I didn't pass, but, there were some stressful times. It really just is time management. the fastest I can get I can get a script done is 1 to 2 hours. That's extremely rare. What's more common is that I'll write a script in over like 2 to 3 days, and then when I have a free evening, I will record, edit, and upload the video into about, start at 10, finish recording and editing by like 11:30, and then it's uploading to YouTube, and I can go to sleep at about 12:31 a.m. So the early access is available for patrons, generally 8 hours before the audio goes live, and that's how I do it. Yeah, unfortunately it's just time management. It helps that I don't have other hobbies to engage in, and I've been in lockdown for a fair amount of the year, so not lots of other things to go. Not a lot of other things to do. Any favorite anime? Ooh, Demon Slayer is great. Pokemon 2019, liking it so far. Kimi no Na, pretty good. Not pretty good, very good. Howl's Moving Castle was great. Ooh, a pretty niche one was Maojo de Oyasumi, the Princess in the Demon Castle, I think is the English title. Is about like a princess who gets kidnapped by a demon lord, except the princess, whose only primary concern is getting a good night's sleep, terrorizes everybody else in the demon castle in order to get her good night's sleep. It's just such a funny anime, and it's so beautifully charming. The main characters are great, so yeah, I love that anime. Any hobbies? In technicality, my hobbies are learning languages, using fountain pens, playing games, but the reality is that I tend not to engage in them that often, and it's not a very good thing. Like, my friend forced me to start playing Pokemon Colosseum, and I haven't gotten around to it ever since the first time we started playing it like a week and a half ago. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for your questions, Fused to Cons. Next question is from Parky. Hi, Parky. Which was your least favorite character to voice in any video? There definitely hasn't... It's hard to say that there's characters that I've disliked to voice. There's ones that are more challenging, like Chrissy or Christian with redacted ASMR. He's got a deep grumbly voice, which I don't actually have. He growls. He got choked in one audio. So that was by far, it was not at all that I didn't like it. It was just difficult. So yeah, just to get that out there, it was great, but it was difficult. And those are all the questions, I think. Oh wait, no, there might be one more. There is definitely one more that I've missed. I thought there was one. Is there not one? Hold up. No, there is one. I must be going crazy. I said there was a new comment on this one, but it's not there. So, no, there is. It's right here. From Chaos. You're an amazing person. You're so talented. Thank you. Your stories are really interesting. I find myself listening to them over and over. Can't wait to see what you do in the future. You're so hardworking and cool. Thank you. But I have kind of answered their questions already. Are there any characters that are hard to voice? Yes, Christian. But also Liefeld and Ross. Staying in character for their accents is a little bit difficult. I definitely need to be doing more accent studies, listening to more Shakespeare, because their accent is based off of Shakespearean original pronunciation, which is early modern English. So yeah, staying in character with their with their accents is quite difficult, but they're still super fun. And which character is most interesting to record? Again, on a similar wavelength. Keeping up the accents for Leufeld, Ross, Vikram. Vikram's is also fun because it's a sort of a British. The intention is like a British Raj kind of accent, so a little bit South Asian, a little bit British, generic British kind of accent. So yeah, those ones are all really interesting to record. Sorry if I spoke a little bit fast at the end there, but 'tis my nature to speak very quickly. I generally have to force myself to speak slower, speak softer, speak a little bit deeper into the microphone when I'm recording ASMR. But yeah, thank you so much everybody who asked questions. It really, 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 really means a lot that you asked questions, that you wanted to support me. I cannot stress how grateful I am that people want to continue to support my content, and people want to keep people want to keep supporting me. I did allude to a little bit, my channel not doing well, and it is true. It's a bit hard to deny from a statistics standpoint that my channel hasn't been growing at all. But there's a lot of people who keep commenting, who are still active on my Discord, who reply to me on Twitter and stuff, and I appreciate it all the same. And yeah, I just can't stress enough how much you guys mean to me. So thank you very much. And I shall see you around. I have a couple more uploads planned for my main channel, but I will most likely be moving my main operations to my new channel, AuthASMR. So yeah, thank you so much everybody, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.